Good evening, or good night, or wherever you are, or to all the community. Right, is this the man who fired the fatal shot at JFK, the headshot? Let's have a look at a few things here. Okay, is this the weapon that he used? The fireball with the one with an extended barrel, and is this the same man? He claimed to have wore a hat, and look at the telescopic sight, it's around the same length. And I saw one of those from one of the groups that I was in, a gentleman, Lucas, I think, put it up. That looks very similar in size, that gun, to that Remington. So where does all this stem from? Okay, a lot of you mightn't have come across it because I didn't see it, and I came across a story on the internet, right, about the JFK assassination, and it starts with the main boss here, the boss who ordered the hit. Let me see now, can I rotate that to the left? Tony Accardo, he was a mafia boss. He was supposed to be working along with the CIA, and he would give the order apparently to the underboss, this guy here. Take it to the left. Sam Ginicana. That's a nice hat he has. Well, enough about hats. Okay. According to this story, who was the killers? What happened? What happened? Tell us now. Tell us now. Tell us now. Right, I have to go down here, and the grassy knoll man, and this is the shooter positions. According to this man's story, these are the shooter's position. No, Nicoletti and Rossetti and Files. Files was supposed to be the man, according to Files himself, that shot JFK. He came down here, went straight on after that, turned down around Elm Street there, and Files was meeting him, and Nicoletti was behind him, which would explain why he got the wound to the neck, and then leaned forward and then got the fatal wound to the head from Files on the left hand side. It does add up. Let me see, and who else was involved? Apparently, according to this man's story, right, Jack Ruby was in on the whole thing, which I'm not surprised. He provided intel about the location of the car, the route the car would take. It was changed route from what was advertised on the papers. The car, where it turned down Elm Street, it was supposed to come straight on. Did I have a picture of that somewhere now? Hold on. Apparently not. Well, here's one of the guys, okay, to the left. Johnny Roselli. Johnny Roselli apparently was with as an assistant to pick up the shells for the guy that was firing behind Kennedy, that fired the first shots. And the guy who was supposed to have been doing this, according to this man's story, was Nicoletti, Charles Chuck Nicoletti. And there was reasons. It was got to do with and this was the building here, right, the Daltech building, right, which was directly behind JFK as he was coming down. So that would explain why he leaned forward when he got shot in the neck, and then the other side, facing this side of it, the fatal shot was supposed to be carried out by none other than this man. Where is he? Here he is. And his name is James Files. Sorry, if I said John Files, I was wrong. James Files, that guy there, right? Why would I believe in this? Well, he told every single detail. He told about the getaway car. A lot of the things add up and have been cross-referenced according to this movie that I looked at. Let me see. And the weapon even matches up with what I've seen there earlier on. Like, he said he had one of those with an extended barrel, and he got it as an early edition because he worked with the CIA. He claimed that Lee Harvey Oswald well, it's common knowledge to a lot of people. Lee Harvey Oswald was part of the CIA. That he was in the CIA, but he knew about this happening, and they went on a reconnaissance about the whole area. He showed him the area and that, like, you know, and there's one of the pictures, not a great one, of the grassy knoll there, and he claimed that could have been him. So what I'll do is, just to make it easy for everybody, right? I'm gonna go back here. If you go into my account, you'll be able to see it. And look at it's a long documentary. Oliver Stone went to visit this man. He refused. He didn't like Oliver Stone because he didn't trust him, and there was another gentleman that was going to meet him, and he ended up dying. So my videos, I will send this, right? I will send this to all the groups, okay, concerning JFK, right? That's the movie there, right? That's the full documentary there.
You owe it to yourselves.
Okay, that's the full interview, and this is the guy here, James Files. It's brilliant. I looked at this for years and years and looked into it, and the way he describes everything in it, I think it's the most credible thing so far. I'm not saying that it's just everything that you hear or whatever, but he gives an awful lot of information. He gives a lot of information about the gun, about why it was done, all about his history, how everything started, and I think that it's well worth looking into. I'll just go into that once more for you, okay? Oh, I don't want to go into that. JFK, so like, here it is, because you didn't get much time to take it down, like, you know.
And I told him, I said, well, what about Johnny? He said, well, Johnny's good. Johnny will be with me, he says, but he's not going to be a shooter. He said, he doesn't want to go against the orders. He said, he's been told, he flew in here specifically to abort this assassination. So I asked him at that point, I said, what'd you say? He said, I said, fuck him, it's a go. He said, we're going to do it. He said, Jimmy, he says, you know we can't call this off. Only one man can stop it. He said, and he's here. If he wants us to stop it, he said, he'll notify me. He said, I'm not going on somebody else's word. He said, as far as it is right now, I have a go. He says, from the boss. He said, we're going.
Who was one man that could have stopped it?
There was only one man. Charles Nicoletti did not say his name at that point. He just said the boss. I knew he was referring to. He was referring to Sam Giancana. Sam Giancana, he was the number 2 man at that time. A lot of people's going to tell you he was number 1, but not true. Tony Accardo was still running things. He turned things over. He had Sam Giancana running all this operation and everything, but Tony Accardo was still the man, and he was still calling the shots on whatever went down, whatever was done.
So anything Giancana said had to at least have the okay of
It had to be sanctioned, and it had to come through Tony Accardo.
We're talking about the Chicago crime.
We're talking about only the Chicago area alone. I knew of no other crime family being involved. I heard rumors, but do I know if anybody else was involved? No, I do not know if anybody else was involved. It would have been out of character for them to even notify me about that or anybody else. That only stays up in the higher ranks of the family or the people or the crime family, whoever you wish to describe it. And when things are handed out, like different departments, different people get different things. Somebody might be into bookmaking. Somebody handles the bookmaking. They pass that out to one party. This party, he distributed amongst the people in the area, because everybody's got a little. So a lot of people come there for that reason, probably because they had heard these rumors and stuff that he was going to be assassinated in Dallas. That was no secret. Even the National Security Agency knew that.
What about Eugene Braden?
Eugene Braden, he was there that day. He was the, Eugene Braden was there for a specific reason. He had the contacts inside the Dow Tech building. And he was the one that Charles Nicoletti and Johnny Roselli needed to get him into a private office somewhere or another. I have no idea where that office was. I was never in the Dow Tech building myself. I can't even describe it.
That's the grassy knoll, man, now.
Oh, only for I stayed away from the fence. I stayed basically in the yard, walk over the fence, look over it, then a minute, then walk back away again. But I was observing the area.
Were you a smoker at the time?
Oh, yes, I did smoke.
Were you smoking cigarettes anymore?
I smoked that day. careless, I probably stepped on several cigarette butts and left them there. Most of them Pall Mall.
Was it muddy back there?
It was very muddy. Let me put it this way. I a couple of times even took my shoes, put them up on the little concrete ledge there and scraped the mud off the bottom of them. But like I say, before the motorcade ever arrived on scene and I took the scope off, I didn't have the gun up over the fence. I didn't want nobody to panic at that point. But I had a little scope up my hand and I could look over the fence and I could kind of check to see who it was. I was looking, like I say, I was looking for security people, you know, for somebody carrying, somebody packing. Because I want to know who's got weapons when I go to leave there.
That fence kind of makes an L shape. You know,
Yeah,
short
this on and
area
off,
and
yeah.
long area.
It's long area to short area, but it's not exactly an L, it's on a slant, 45,
Right.
like
So
45
where were
degrees.
you?
I'm gonna say 8 to 10 feet down there. There was a tree branch that hung right over me. I was behind that, kind of give me a little camouflage.
Did you ever see an ambulance come by?
No, I never paid no attention. I wasn't watching the vehicles that passed by. I'm looking at people. I never noticed an ambulance.
You didn't see an ambulance with red lights?
No, might have heard a siren. I don't remember. I had all that tuned out. I'm in another complete mode. Sirens, lights flashing, ambulances, police. That don't bother me. I'm not there to look for those things. I'm there looking for other details, for other things.
Okay, so then what happened? The motorcade came?
We, at this point, came down, and at that time, the motorcade was about turning, or maybe halfway between the city jail, or the county jail, and the turnoff right through there. Sergio and I came over here, looked at these light posts here, decided, okay, if we had a shooter, more than likely he would be right along in here, using the left or the right side of these posts as a reference points for timing or whatever. And then we observed the rest of what the motorcade as it came around.
The President's car is now turning onto Elm Street, and it will be only a matter of minutes before he arrives at the trademark.
Motorcade come down, I believe that's Main Street there, come down on Houston, turn back around on the Elm there, come down that little side drive there. Oh, when it come down and made its first right, that's when I brought the weapon up. And then I'm over the fence, and as they come down, made the turn on down there, that's when I started focusing through the scope and following the car.
And we noticed a lot of commotion as it started coming into view. And then the shots came out, and that's when all hell broke loose.
I've got this sign there for the Simmons Freeway that is fixing to come into my field of fire. As far as I can see at this point, the President has not been hit in the head at this time. I've seen the body lurch. I know he's been hit. How serious, I don't know. But my last instructions was we're going for headshot. If you have to take a shot, take it. But don't fire unless it's a necessity, unless you really have to. I was aiming for his right eye, which to me is the left side of his head looking head on. But for him, it would be his right eye. And when I pull the trigger, I'm right in on it. And it's almost like looking 6 feet away through the scope. As I squeezed, take off my round, his head moved forward, I missed, and I coming right along the temple, just right behind the eye. I fired one shot only.
And at this point right here, I remember seeing Kennedy's head going way back like that.
To me, what I believe is, and I did not see, let me clear the fact now, I never saw Mr. Nicoletti shoot Kennedy, but I know he was the man in the Dow Tech building, the man supposed to be doing the shooting. Therefore, the head started forward. As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Nicoletti hit him at that point. As I squeezed off my round, the head started forward, I hit it and blew the head backwards.
And Sergio turned to me. He said, "Oh my gosh, we effed up. Let's get the hell out of here." And so at this point, I turned like this and then made a step to come up and around. And Sergio was about right along here. And we went up here. There was a gentleman down here in a parked car, a truck. As we got to about this area, he hollered something to Sergio. Sergio was maybe a little down. He says, "It looks real bad." And then we continued to proceed up through this way, just casually walking like we were going to go back over where the crowd was congregating, going to that section right there. There was a few congregation up there at the deal. I looked back once or twice in time to see the limousine go under the triple underpass. We continued on over here, and this picket fence was up, and there was a